one McDonald's, but McDonald's is a big corporation, and the corporation is going to be okay. But are you going to run your McDonald's right? So are you going to run your real estate team right? Are you going to run that correctly? I think that agents do not understand and or look at it like that. I think that sometimes brokers do not explain and teach agents that's actually what it is. And then I think that there's some great brokers that do try to teach that, but the agents don't want to listen because they have the independent contractor disease. They're just able to get into something and nobody can tell me what to do. And you can't tell me, and I'm allowed to make absolutely no money. And I can still keep coming to your office and drinking your coffee and running up the bills, and et cetera. Nobody's going to fire me. And if you do fire me, I'm an independent contractor. I'll take my license somewhere else and I can just fail over there. So, I think that whole mentality needs to be changed. And those that have been able to change it and look at it as a business succeed and are able to succeed at pretty high levels.
I'm wondering when the aha moment happened for you, where you realized you were an independent contractor working under the franchise, where if I put in this effort, if I do become, how I feel and I express that on the outside, if I increase my value proposition, because we've talked in the past, when you first started, it was about, I'm going to follow the status quo. I'm going to make my 100 calls a day. I'm going to go knock on my doors. Where did the switch happen for you? What occurred where you realized that if I put the same care and effort in that a server would at a restaurant, or if I felt like I owned my own McDonald's, where did that moment happen for you?
It's funny. I had two moments, Lee. I had two moments. So the first moment in getting into real estate altogether was I because because hopefully my kids don't do what I did, and I did not finish college, and I didn't do some of the things I should have done when I was there. I still had these aspirations of what I wanted to be. I had an entrepreneurial spirit with my parents, beside working jobs, also had small businesses that they tried and brought me up in that environment. So I did not want to quote unquote have a ceiling over my what I felt my potential was. I felt even at a young age that I was meant to do some great things. Um, so getting into real estate for me allowing the opportunity to figure that obviously people always need somewhere to live. So if people always need somewhere to live, I'll always be employed. So I got into the business thinking that. But the other aha moment for me once I got into business, and I made some money in the beginning, but was floundering, and no structure to it or anything at all. And I'll have to give props. I'll give props out to the Mike Ferry system when I was younger in the business. That was the first time, at least, that I had been introduced to something that was more of a structure in real estate and talked about real estate as being a business, as time blocking and doing some things like that, uh, having a goal, how many deals you want to do a year, and all that sort of stuff. So that was an aha moment for me because it was also the first time when I went to one of his seminars at that time that it was not a rah rah thing. I mean, for anybody that's gone to, particularly when he was younger, one of Mike's events when he was younger. I mean, everybody doesn't like Mike Ferry, and he's an in your face type of a guy. But he also had a really good business, in my opinion, setup of how you should at least run your business as a business. So obviously, many years later, I don't share some of the same philosophical things that I did when I first got into the business, but that was a big aha moment for me to understand that I had to treat it like a business. If I wanted to be able to sustain success in the business over a long period of time, have any longevity. I know I'm saying that wrong right now. It's after the Super Bowl, but you have to have some kind of structure. You have to be able to do that. And up to that point, I had not received that from anyone. I just receive different things. You go do this, you go do that, and sit some open houses, and hey, cold call some people. Hey, go knock on some doors. But there was no structure to it. There was no, hey, you need to knock on X amount of doors. You need to make X amount of phone calls, and you need to do this. And this is how much you make, and you need to follow this plan. So that was an aha moment for me. Obviously, things have evolved for me um, differently as the years have passed, just as things have evolved and changed in the world and in society and how other businesses have done. So hopefully I've been able to adjust and adapt myself to 2015 from what I was in 1990. So, but that was my aha moment.
Well, and it's clear that you've also you've discovered one other thing, and I'm wondering when this occurred. Much like McDonald's, they are a product provider. You are a product provider, but McDonald's discovered along the way, and it certainly showed in their Super Bowl ads yesterday, that their focus is on customer service. And
Right.
that customer service is ultimately what leads to the product sales. You are a provider of a quote-unquote product, which is to be a real estate agent. That is the product. But it is driven on a service basis. It's from talking to you and watching the industry and those that are successful and those that are good agents, it seems to me that people do better when they understand that it's a customer service-based thing and you're not sending your clients. You and I have both been a part of this, where you get the call from the agent at 11 o'clock at night who's going to send over the person to the house anyway. I tried to call you 5 times. No, you're not. No, you didn't. You did. That you're providing the service, but you're not providing the customer service, and you're not even providing the customer service. And this is, I think, something agents forget, to other agents.
Right. Right. Most definitely. And it's funny because as you say that, I'll give you a couple of real time examples right now. Is I wrote offer for one of my clients as a buyer, and we wrote 2 offers on property last Wednesday. So we're taping this on a Monday. So the previous Wednesday, I written 2 offers. Both of these agents have not returned my text,
Ugh.
my email, my phone calls. Both they're different agencies, different companies. Both of their voicemails are full.
Ugh.
Both of in the email provider that I use, when I send out an email for an offer, it shows that the offer or shows that the email was received and read. Neither have responded and even acknowledged that they received my offer. Now, what kind of service are you really doing yourself at that particular point? Now, I'm sure that both or either of these agents would be pretty upset if I went and contacted their seller directly, which is within your code of ethics that you can do, and say, hey, I've written an offer on your property X amount of days ago, and your agent has not even acknowledged receipt of the offer. Has it been presented to you? Now, of course, you can imagine how upset that homeowner would be. And then of course at that point the agent is mad at me, and then we'll never put a transaction together because they'll do anything they possibly can to make sure that my offer is the one that wouldn't be accepted. Right. So that's I think that's horrible. But those are the things that do our industry such a disservice. And here's the flip side of that. Flip side of that is that I take Sundays off. I take Sundays off, and I had two clients, and they're clients that are new to my system that both texted me yesterday. The people that I have been trying to reach and do some things for them all week, and now they've decided on Sunday that Sunday was the time that they wanted to reach me, and they're ready to do something because now, of course, it's convenient for them. Well, I run my business like a business. And one thing that I've learned is I said, when you're on, you're on. But when you're off, you're off. I mean, if McDonald's is closed and you want a Big Mac, you just can't, text the crew chief to come in and cook you a Big Mac. I
Right.
mean, your doctor's on the golf course. They're not going to come get your doctor off the golf course to help you. You go to a different doctor and you sit there and bleed out. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
So in both instances, because I run my business like a business, I did return the call or excuse me, the text in both cases. And my text in both cases was, hey, listen, thank you for reaching out. Sunday is the one day off that I take with my family. If this is an emergency, I'll get back to you about the information you're asking, or I'll provide it for you first thing Monday morning. Is that okay? Both instances, the people apologized for contacting me on Sunday and said, "Oh no, Monday or Tuesday is fine for the information they were asking about."
Of
Now,
course.
contrary to what other people may or may not do, though, what I did do was I made sure this morning, first thing, 6 o'clock a.m., that I emailed them back the information that they were requesting. And then I text both of them to just check your email at your convenience. The information you requested is there. Contact me if you have any more, any more questions. I mean, again, not patting myself on the back and making it seem like I'm some kind of real estate god or guru or anything, but there's just certain customer service types things that you can do. Now, and needless to say, on Sunday when the Super Bowl is getting ready to come on and the text comes in, I'm like anybody else going, I can't believe they're texting me. But I'm not going to sit there and ignore and or provide them with a lesser service, especially when this is right off the heels of what I'm going through with my own client. Because I could tell
Sure.
you, you know, what some of these agents don't get is, what do I say to my clients whom I've written an offer on that I can't get a hold of the real estate agents to at least tell them that they had an offer and to get my clients an answer when that is a 365-degree different of the type of service that our team has been providing for them. That to them, that just seems like, you're kidding me, because they haven't experienced that in dealing with us. So, those are little pet peeves of mine, but it happens throughout our industry. And then agents will wonder why, they either get a bad reputation or that the consumer, will go on Yelp or one of these places and write something bad about them, all that type of stuff. Well, this is why. Look at what you're doing.
Yeah, I was trying to explain it to a friend of mine yesterday who's starting an online business. The model's good. It's a good service. It's below market. It's a good product to be bought online. And I was explaining to him, it's not the sales that you have to concern yourself with. You have to concern yourself with the person who's going to be upset. And he goes, I'll leave the money, in the account. I'll refund them immediately if there's a problem. I said, that's not how this works. I said, I wish it was as simple as, here's your money back. I said, you have to be concerned with somebody filling out a ripoff report or filing a Yelp complaint. I said, everything is based online and people can voice their opinions. And that's something that has to be respected because homeowners or any consumer, they have a voice now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you can't be, I think that sometimes people are overly concerned about the people who are going to say something negative about you just because they want to say something negative about you.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? One thing that I have learned is that, it takes a lifetime to build up your name and your reputation. And it takes 5 minutes to tear
5 minutes.
down a lifetime worth of work.
Yep.
So, you have to be aware of that and cognizant of that. Otherwise, you can allow just one thing to just screw everything up. And most people can look at something and they'll be able to tell by comments and things like that, and how you respond to them, even how you respond to maybe that negative consumer on Yelp or whatever else, on whether or not there's any validity to it or not. And the funny part is that if and when you happen to get those types of things, you'd be surprised at how many people with positive experiences will come